Treat her right, I try. Final things in life I buy.
What's going on, guys? It's King Tuts Pro. Welcome back to another Final Cut Pro 10 tutorial. So what we're going to be doing is using this music video from Central C called Loading. Link is in the description along with my editing packs if you guys want to try those out. What you want to do first is go over to the titles, and under the titles go to the titles tab, and then you're going to go over to the basic title. Just add that above your timeline, and I'm going to go ahead and trim this something like this so it's not too long. And what you're going to do is you're pretty much going to move the title so that it's pretty much timed correctly with whatever he says. So he says treat, and then her. He's speaking relatively fast, so these are going to be not that long. So once we're happy where they are, we're going to double click on one of them just to keep track of what he's saying. So we're going to type in treat in all caps, and then this next one's going to say her, and then this other one's going to say right, and then we can go ahead and push play again. That's pretty much timed correctly to where we want it. So now what we can do is go to the first text, and we're going to be applying all of our effects onto this one. So just go over to the effects, and we're going to go to blur, and we're going to add a Gaussian blur. But before we do that, we're going to select all of the text, and we're going to change the font. So go over to the inspector tab, go next to this right here, and change the font from this hideous Helvetica font to Sequel, because this one just looks better and it's extended. It's more bold font. We want to use bold font so we can see the glow beneath it. So once we're happy with that, make sure they're all applied, and let's see it one more time. Perfect. So what we want to do now is select all of the text in the timeline, hold Option and drag upwards to duplicate the text. Make sure again they're the same exact font on both of them, and they're going to select one of them. I'm going to select the first text, and then you're going to add the Gaussian blur onto that title text there. So now you can see it kind of creates a glow effect. And then instead of adding this to every single one, just press Command C on the clip that we've added the Gaussian blur to, select every other text in your timeline, the bottom one, and then hold Shift Command V all together, and then make sure only the Gaussian is applied and click on paste. Now it's going to paste the Gaussian blur onto the rest of the text. So it should look something like this. So now once we have that set, we're going to select all of the text for the first word, so like treat, and we're going to hold Option G, or you can right click and go to new compounds clip. We're going to name this treat 1. So again, you're going to do the same thing for each of the titles. Here, we're going to type in her 1, and just do the same thing for this one, Option G, type in right 1. So now this acts as one single clip. So now what we can do is go over to the transform over here. So go to the transform and move the playhead to the beginning of this clip. Make sure you have snapping enabled so that it snaps to that edge. Move the playhead to the beginning first. So we're going to rotate this to the left at the very beginning of this text here, and then towards the end, go one frame to the left, and then drag it the other way so it's rotating to the right side. So now it's going to animate kind of like this. We're going to increase the text to however big you want this to look like. So right here is fine. So once we're happy with what it looks like, we're just going to apply this to the rest. So click on Done, press Command C, and then select all of the other text again and hold Shift Command V again, and we're just going to paste the transform attributes here. Notice that we don't have Gaussian because this is a new compound clip. So click on paste. So now it's going to look something like this. Once we have that set, because we have our transform added here on this compound clip, we need to make another compound clip. So right click, go to new compound clip, or press Option G, and I'm going to name this treat 2 because this is our second compound clip that we're creating. So again, Option G, I'm going to type in her 2. Now that we have that, you can see we don't have any of the transform over here, any of the transform keyframes. Now what we can do is go over to transform and move the center anchor to over his mouth. This is the main effect. You could add it behind him if you created a mask, a separate mask of himself, and then, placing it behind, but we're going to be doing it the opposite way. I think this looks kind of more interesting. So I'm going to add a keyframe at the beginning, and then every 2 frames, you could go frame by frame and do it that way, but I'm going to go every 2 frames just because it looks smoother that way. And once it ends, you're going to select the next text that follows and add a keyframe and move it to where, his mouth relatively is. So about here, and then again, do the same thing for this one, add a keyframe, move it over, skip 2 frames, move it down, just so it's not covering his face. Now, if I go back and I push play, you have this super cool motion tracked lyric effect. Without using presets or plugins, you can, of course, use your own if you really wanted to. And then to really tie in the effect, I'm going to add a custom LUT from my LUT pack. So this is the before without anything applied. This is the original music video straight from YouTube. And then this is the color graded LUT with mine applied and a little bit of color correcting here as well. This one is going to be linked in the description as well. It's the 20 music video LUTs. And lastly, you can of course add in the, if I go over here, I have my glow punch hole overlays as well as transitions. There's also a non-glow version, but the way that you use these is very simple. You just press Command I to import those clips. It's in a folder and you don't install these as you would normally do with a plugin or a preset. What you do is just import them as a regular video. And then in the media selection here, or in the media tab, which is the punch hole for top glow one, and it looks like this without anything on it. So this is the alpha that you want to add. And this is important. You want to drag this below the actual glow itself. And then in your timeline, like let's say we wanted to add disable the audio, and I'm going to place that right underneath our punch hole for alpha, or it can be labeled differently. I think there's 20 or 30 in that pack. And you're going to select the alpha clip. Because right now it's black, you can leave it like this if you want, but I'm gonna go over to the inspector tab, and under the blend mode, we're gonna change it from normal to stencil alpha. And now you will see the clip beneath it. But what we need to do to finish this off is select the 3 clips, the one with the glow, which is this one, the one with the alpha, and then the one with the music video shown underneath. And then you're gonna select all of them. You're gonna right click and go to new compounds clip. And then we're gonna type in punch hole overlay or something like this. Just give it a name. Once you click OK, it's going to pretty much mask everything out except the inner circle. So now if I go back and I push play, it looks just like that. And then this is without any of the lyrics on it, so you guys can get a better reference of it. Super cool. And you can do this as a transition as well. So instead of it just kind of disappearing, it will actually zoom bigger and reveal the clip following it. So if you guys found this video helpful at all, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, turning on the bell notification so you don't miss out on a video just like this one. And again, if you guys want to check out the editing packs as well as my merch, check the link in the description or go to kingtestpro.com. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys next time.